and welcome to the latest update of Fogwing CMMS version 2.30. In this particular release, we have done significant enhancement which focuses on the improving of user experience as well as streamlining various maintenance workflow and giving you a better visibility and control over your maintenance operations. So starting off with the first enhancement that we have done in the work order module itself, especially into the approval section. So if you go into the work order module and if you move to the completed section, previously while viewing the work order, approval part, it was handled through a pop-up which had limited visibility. But now in this particular update, after the enhancement, if you go into the particular action and if you click on approve and reject, you will be directed to um, a dedicated approval page, as you can see in front of you. So this new interface offers you better clarity, better information about the particular asset that you are working on. You will be able to see different checklist score part allocation which is there. Also action notes and work updates. Also you get a separate option to do the work order approval as well. So it gives you a more space for information as well as a smoother navigation for approving the work order. So from here itself you can approve the particular work order or reject the work order as well. So this is one of the changes and enhancement that we have done in the approval part of the work order management. Moving on with the second update that we have done in the work order module is to create a work order with part allocation. Now, earlier, while creating the work order, the maintenance manager or supervisor was not able to allocate different part. Only the engineer would be able to, and there was no approval section which was present for these particular part, which led to less amount of accountability for that part which has been used overall. So now, in after this particular enhancement, you can allocate part directly during the work order creation, which will help you to eliminate the need for adding the parts at a later steps. So this was already present this parts allocation into the preventive maintenance module, which ensures material planning as well as reservation of the part. So if you go into any of the particular work order here, and if you allocate the parts, so as a supervisor or manager, you can particularly select any of the different parts here, and you can allocate the part. Also, you can now, as you can see, a toggle is there for approval, which is required. So now, as we are doing it as a maintenance manager and supervisor, we are directly allocating that part. But if you go into the execute work order, when the operators or the engineer who is going to allocate the part, so they can select that whether they want to get the particular permission or approval request for the particular part which is selected by their maintenance manager and supervisor. So if you allocate this part and if you go back, so now as you can see in the name itself, you can see that there is particular parts approval icon is visible here. This will show you a parts approval in the edit section as well, into the action section as well. So if you click on that, you'll be directed to a particular page where you can see all the parts which are there, which will need additional approvals from the maintenance manager and supervisor. So as a supervisor or manager, you can approve the parts, and once it is approved, then if you go into the execute work order, you can see that it has been already allocated. So in that manner, the accountability of the parts which has been used from the inventory will be, documented, and more control of critical parts, or the parts which are particularly expensive and not frequently available into the inventory. Their monitoring and their documentation will be perfectly handled into this particular um, feature that we have added of parts approval in the work order module. So this is the parts allocation as well as approval, which is there in the work order module. Then moving on to another enhancement that we have done in the parts 360. So if you go into the parts 360, and if you select any of the particular part here, under the uses section, we have divided into two sub tabs, as you can see in front of you. One is the reservation and the second is the uses. So the reservation will show you the allocated parts, which is already linked to the work order, while the uses one or the used one will reflect the actual consumption after the completion of the work order. So this separations, helps you clearly monitor inventory, allocation versus the consumption of the parts in different work order. So in the reservation section, the parts which is already been reserved into work orders will be visible, as well as in the use section, already used will be there, and you can see the closure of the work orders and the work order code. You can directly go into that work orders from here itself to see what will be the different cost of that part and how much quantity which has been allocated and other things as well. So this is one of the enhancement that we have done in the parts 360 module here. So moving on to a new enhancement which is done again into the work order module is the introduction of a new work order type. We have enhanced the work order types according and aligning it with the SMRP guidelines that is followed worldwide. In addition to the existing guidelines, existing types that already were present, we have introduced some new work order types, which is as you can see, corrective, then calibration, safety. So all these new types are also available, and the fault or the repair uh, type, work order type, which was there, is now has been renamed to the breakdown or fault for better clarity. So these are all the addition, which will allow you to categorize and maintain or manage the maintenance activities, more effectively. So according to whichever work order type you select, whether it's corrective or whether it's calibration or safety or soft services for that matter, it will be clearly visible into the section whenever the engineer or the operator who is going to create a work order and who's going to work on that work order, and it will be visible so that they won't get confused. Similarly, the enhancement for the work order type is done into the preventive maintenance as well. In the preventive maintenance, if you click on the create preventive maintenance, user can now select different work order types while creating the schedule. So, for example, calibration, safety related work order types, particularly different from the preventive maintenance, which has been already created for a single machine. Some of the companies has different calibration work order which has to be scheduled in different period of time. So you can also select that, as well as soft services work orders type in preventive maintenance is also available, which will allow you to create preventive maintenance work order which are not related to a particular machine or an asset. So as you can see, you can directly select a particular facility. Here you can select the particular service location of that facility, and then you can create a preventive maintenance here for that particular facility, whatever the task would be. And same thing, you can select the trigger schedule, you can select the start date and end date, and you can also select the repeat cycle, same as earlier into the preventive maintenance. So this whole changes into the preventive maintenance, enables you to centralize the planning of multiple maintenance activity within a single system. So you don't have to go into different modules to create a soft service work order separately or a calibration work order separately. Now it is all possible into a single module here into the preventive maintenance. So this is the change that we have done into the preventive maintenance. The last update that we have done is into the mobile update, where we have you can see different work orders, parent work order, completed work order as well. And additionally, we have done some improvement and enhancement and bug fixes into the mobile application, which is now the update is available now into the App Store as well as the iOS store as well. So yeah, these are all the updates that we have done into this version 2.30 of Fogwing CMMS. Stay tuned for such more enhancement and more update new feature that we are going to introduce in the coming days. Thank you so much for watching the video. See you soon.